The world is not designed to reward fairness, and the moment you stop pretending otherwise, something inside you sharpens. While you hesitate, someone less capable steps forward. While you wait to be acknowledged, someone bolder takes space. This is not because they are superior. It is because they understand something you were never taught. Power does not ask permission. Influence does not wait its turn. Respect is not granted by merit. It is claimed through psychological position. You were taught to be decent in a system that rewards dominance. You were trained to be agreeable in an environment that exploits compliance. That mismatch is why frustration keeps returning no matter how hard you work. There was a time when intelligence felt like enough, when effort seemed like it would eventually be noticed. You believed consistency would be rewarded and character would protect you. Yet again and again you watched others advance with half your skill and twice your presence. You saw confidence mistaken for competence and audacity mistaken for leadership. Each time it happened, something eroded quietly. Not motivation, but belief. Belief that the system made sense. It does not. It never did. It runs on perception, leverage, and consequence, not fairness or intention. Understanding this truth does not make you bitter. It makes you precise. Once you see how human behavior actually works, confusion dissolves. You stop asking why and start asking how. How do people gain authority without permission? How do they influence without consensus? How do they bend rooms without raising their voice? The answer is not cruelty. It is psychological structure, the ability to project certainty, enforce boundaries, and remain unmoved by reaction. There was a moment when this became undeniable. Watching capable people be ignored while manipulative personalities gathered followers was no longer coincidence. It was pattern. The pattern revealed that morality alone carries no weight without presence. That good intentions collapse when confronted by strategic minds. The realization stung, but it also freed something dormant. If the world rewards influence, then influence can be learned. If dominance is psychological, then psychology can be mastered. Those who control situations are rarely the loudest. They are the calmest. They do not rush to be understood. They let misunderstanding work in their favor. They do not explain themselves into weakness. They allow silence to create gravity. This is not accidental. It is disciplined. It is the result of understanding that human beings respond to strength before they respond to logic. Fairness is the first illusion that must be dismantled. Expecting fair treatment is not noble. It is dangerous. It teaches others that you will tolerate imbalance. It signals that you are waiting instead of positioning. Every time you give more than you receive without recalibration, you train people to take. Every time you excuse disrespect, you normalize it. This is not kindness, it is self-erosion. Psychological leverage begins the moment you stop appealing to fairness and start enforcing consequence. Not through noise or rage, but through removal, withdrawal, and clarity. When someone crosses a line and nothing happens, the line disappears. When crossing costs access, status, or benefit, behavior adjusts. People do not respond to explanations, they respond to outcomes. Ruthlessness is often misunderstood. It is not emotional volatility, it is emotional discipline, the ability to feel without reacting, to observe without flinching, to choose response rather than be hijacked by impulse. Those who lose control of their emotions surrender control of the situation. Those who remain composed dictate tempo. This is why emotionally reactive people are predictable and predictability is exploitable. When attacked, the instinct is to defend. Defense is submission disguised as justification. The disciplined mind does something else. It evaluates. It asks what response shifts power rather than soothes ego. Sometimes the most damaging reply is indifference. Sometimes it is precision. Sometimes it is absence. The key is that the response is chosen, not triggered. Being liked has been sold as currency. It is not. Likability invites familiarity, and familiarity erodes respect. Those who are liked are assumed to be flexible. Those who are respected are assumed to be firm. One is approached casually. The other is approached carefully. If forced to choose, respect always outlives approval. Approval fades the moment it becomes inconvenient. The shift is internal before it is external. You stop asking how to be accepted and start asking how to be positioned. You stop offering yourself freely and start making access conditional. You stop explaining your standards and start living them. This change unsettles those who benefited from your compliance. Let it. Discomfort is often the first signal that power is recalibrating. Decisive action is rare because it requires certainty. Most people substitute it with warnings, complaints, and half measures. This teaches others to ignore them. One clear action teaches more than 1,000 words. When action is consistent and proportionate, reputation forms quickly. People learn where you stand without needing reminders. Perception is not secondary to reality. For most, it is reality. People decide who you are before they know anything about you. Your posture, pace, silence, and boundaries speak first. If you do not shape this narrative, others will, and they will shape it in ways that benefit them. Strategic self-presentation is not deception, it is protection. Those who master influence understand that control is quiet. It does not announce itself, it accumulates. It operates through systems rather than emotion, through consistency rather than confrontation. When respect leads to access and disrespect leads to exclusion, authority maintains itself. No arguments required. The most powerful position is silent dominance, acting without advertising, moving without explaining. Letting results create reputation. Those who declare strength seek validation. Those who possess it do not need witnesses. While others posture, you position. While others perform, you prepare. This is the fork in the road. Remain governed by ideals that do not govern reality or adapt to how power actually functions. One path keeps you overlooked. The other makes you impossible to ignore. The choice is not moral. It is strategic, and it is already being made around you every day. Once you abandon the illusion of fairness, another truth becomes unavoidable. Emotion is the primary leash used to control human behavior. Whoever can pull your emotional strings can move you wherever they want. Anger, guilt, hope, fear, validation. These are not feelings, they are access points. The moment someone can trigger you, they can steer you. This is why emotional control is not self-help. It is power. Most people believe expressing emotion is authenticity. In reality, uncontrolled emotion is exposure. Every reaction teaches observers how to influence you. The louder your response, the clearer your weaknesses become. This is why calm unnerves people. Calm denies them leverage. Calm removes the handles they need to pull. When you stop reacting, manipulation loses its grip. True ruthlessness is not cruelty. It is restraint. It is the ability to feel everything without revealing anything. The disciplined mind does not suppress emotion. It decouples emotion from action. Feeling anger does not require expressing it. Feeling insulted does not require defense. Feeling threatened does not require panic. The space between feeling and response is where power lives. People who dominate psychologically understand this gap. When provoked, they do not rush to protect ego. They observe intent. They measure impact. They decide whether engagement benefits their position. Often silence does more damage than confrontation. Silence communicates indifference. Indifference collapses perceived importance. Many attacks exist only to provoke reaction. When no reaction arrives, the attacker is exposed. Respect follows those who cannot be easily moved, not because they are feared in a dramatic sense, but because they are not manageable. Manageable people are adjusted. Unmanageable people are accommodated. This distinction defines hierarchy. Those who bend are positioned below. Those who remain firm force others to adapt. This is where the lie of likability collapses. Likability is conditional and fleeting. It exists only as long as compliance remains intact. The moment you say no, likability evaporates. Respect behaves differently. Respect persists even through disagreement because it is rooted in boundaries rather than approval. Those who are respected can disappoint others without losing position. Those who seek approval cannot. The internal shift is subtle but permanent. You stop asking whether an action will offend and start asking whether it will weaken you. You stop cushioning truths and start delivering outcomes. You stop negotiating standards and start enforcing them through behavior. People adjust quickly when they realize there will be no debate. Decisiveness accelerates this process. Most people sabotage authority by hesitating. They issue warnings instead of acting. They complain instead of correcting. They tolerate patterns they should end. This teaches others that boundaries are suggestions. One decisive action taken calmly and without explanation resets perception instantly. Decisive does not mean impulsive, it means final. When you act, the matter is closed. No repeated discussions, no emotional residue. The situation is resolved and the system updates. Others learn faster from consequence than from conversation. This is not aggression, it is clarity. Reputation begins to form around consistency. You are seen as someone who means what they allow and allows what they accept. This predictability at the level of principle, not behavior, creates stability. People know where you stand even if they do not know what you will do. That uncertainty keeps them cautious. Perception management deepens here. You realize that most people will never know you fully. They will know a version shaped by brief interactions and shared narratives. This version matters. It determines access, opportunity, and treatment. Ignoring it is naive. Obsessing over it is weakness. Managing it deliberately is intelligence. This does not require deception. It requires selectivity. You choose what to reveal and what to keep private. You highlight competence and minimize vulnerability. You let results speak while keeping struggle hidden. This does not make you fake. It makes you protected. Narratives form whether you participate or not. When you stay silent, others will interpret. When you speak too much, others will distort. The strategic mind intervenes early and minimally. It frames decisions before critics define them. It contextualizes actions before rumors harden. Control the story once and it carries itself forward. Authority becomes system-based rather than personality-based. You no longer rely on mood or force. You build structures where behavior determines outcome automatically. Respect grants proximity. Disrespect removes it. Reliability is rewarded. Inconsistency is excluded. These rules apply without emotion. This makes them difficult to argue against and impossible to manipulate. People adjust because they must, not because you demand it. The environment trains itself. You no longer chase compliance. You curate conditions. This is psychological sovereignty, influence without friction. As this solidifies, your dominance becomes quieter. You stop correcting publicly. You stop defending privately. You stop reacting altogether. Presence alone shifts dynamics. People speak differently around you. They measure words. They hesitate. not out of fear but out of awareness. You no longer need to assert authority. Authority is assumed. Those who sense it comply instinctively. Those who challenge it reveal themselves quickly. Both outcomes are useful. This is the midpoint of transformation. You are no longer invisible, but you are not yet fully untouchable. What remains is refinement, precision, the transition from force to inevitability. Part C. As authority settles into your posture and your silence, a new shift occurs. You begin to understand that power is not about confrontation, but about positioning. Those who fight openly reveal themselves. Those who position quietly decide outcomes before conflict appears. The strongest players rarely argue. They arrange circumstances so arguments never matter. Positioning starts with access. Who can reach you and when? Who receives your time and attention? Who is allowed proximity to your plans, your thoughts, your energy? Most people leak access indiscriminately and then wonder why they feel drained, disrespected, or overexposed. Access is currency. Spend it deliberately or lose control of its value. Scarcity amplifies authority. When you are always available, your presence blends into noise. When you are selective, your presence gains weight. Absence forces reflection. It causes people to replay interactions, reevaluate assumptions, and assign importance. This is not withdrawal born of fear. It is withdrawal born of confidence. The disciplined mind understands timing. Showing up everywhere signals need. Appearing only where it matters signals power. Those who matter will adjust to your rhythm. Those who do not will fade. Both outcomes strengthen your position. With distance comes clarity. Constant engagement clouds judgment. Emotional noise distorts perception. Stepping back restores perspective. You begin to see patterns in behavior, motives beneath words, intentions behind gestures. Observation becomes effortless once reaction stops stealing focus. Information flows toward the quiet. People reveal themselves when they believe they are not being judged or challenged. Silence invites disclosure. Attention without reaction creates safety for others to expose their hand. You learn more by listening than by asserting. This knowledge compounds quietly. As awareness sharpens, you stop relying on trust. Trust is emotional and fragile. You rely on design, systems, structures that function regardless of loyalty. You never place your stability in the hands of a single person or outcome. Redundancy becomes security. Independence becomes calm. Expecting betrayal does not harden you. It liberates you. Surprise is what wounds most deeply. When betrayal is anticipated, it becomes data instead of trauma. You note it, adjust, and continue. No collapse, no obsession, no wasted energy. Preparation replaces hope. You stop assuming good intentions will protect you. You assume self-interest will reveal itself. This assumption does not make you cynical. It makes you accurate. Accuracy is power. With this mindset, relationships refine themselves. You no longer overinvest early. You watch consistency over time. You value behavior under pressure more than promises under comfort. Those who endure earn access gradually. Those who fail are released without resentment. Calm becomes your signature. Not passive calm, but deliberate composure. In tense moments, others look to you instinctively. You do not rush to speak. You let silence settle. This stillness commands attention more effectively than dominance displays ever could. People mistake loud certainty for strength. Real strength is quiet confidence that does not require reinforcement. When challenged, you respond with measured clarity or not at all. Both responses communicate control. Your decisions become final because they are considered. You do not revisit choices to soothe discomfort. You do not explain to gain approval. You act, observe results, and adjust privately. This self-containment signals maturity. Others sense it even if they cannot articulate why. Narratives bend around you. You no longer chase correction. You allow outcomes to redefine perception. Results silence speculation. Consistency dissolves doubt. Over time, your reputation stabilizes into something solid and unarguable. You understand now that influence is cumulative. Small choices compound into presence. Repeated restraint becomes authority. Strategic absence becomes intrigue. Calm repetition becomes inevitability. The need to prove dissolves. You stop performing strength and start embodying it. This embodiment changes how rooms feel when you enter them. Conversations shift. Dynamics reorder themselves subtly. No announcement required. Those who seek to challenge you do so cautiously. Those who respect you do so naturally. You do not need universal approval. You need clear alignment. Power grows in precision, not popularity. As systems replace emotion, life simplifies. Fewer conflicts, fewer explanations, fewer regrets. You conserve energy and deploy it where it matters. This conservation creates momentum. You are no longer chasing control. Control follows you because you have removed the chaos that once diluted it. You have learned when to engage, when to disappear, and when to let silence work on your behalf. This stage is quiet and irreversible. You have crossed from reaction to direction, from noise to signal, from vulnerability to structure. What remains is consolidation, the final integration where dominance becomes natural and unforced. The last phase is not louder, it is deeper. The final transformation is subtle. There is no dramatic shift, no announcement, no visible climax. Power at its highest level settles inward. It becomes posture, timing, restraint. You no longer feel the need to assert dominance because your environment responds to you without prompting. At this stage, control is internal. External events lose their ability to destabilize you. Praise does not inflate you. Criticism does not provoke you. Betrayal does not shatter you. Success does not intoxicate you. You move through all outcomes with the same measured awareness. This is mental sovereignty. The world can press, but it cannot penetrate. You understand now that most people are ruled by impulses they mistake for personality. They confuse emotion with identity and reaction with truth. You no longer make that error. You observe impulses without obeying them. You let emotions inform, not command. Because of this, your decisions gain weight. They are not rushed. They are not apologetic. They are not performative. When you choose fully. When you withdraw completely. When you commit without hesitation. Others feel this certainty. They may not know why, but they sense that you cannot be coerced. Pressure slides off you. Manipulation finds no leverage. Guilt finds no anchor. You stop negotiating your worth. You stop correcting misunderstandings. You stop defending your boundaries with words. Your behavior enforces them naturally. Those who align adapt. Those who resist remove themselves. Silence becomes your default language, not because you have nothing to say, but because most situations require no commentary. You understand that words dilute power when overused. You speak only when speech alters outcomes. Your presence grows heavier as your noise decreases. People lean in when you speak. They remember what you say because it is rare. You are no longer part of the constant chatter. You are a signal in the static. You also understand the role of absence fully now. You disappear without guilt. You reappear without explanation. This rhythm trains others to respect your time and anticipate your involvement. Scarcity becomes a silent amplifier. At this level, you do not chase loyalty. You design environments where loyalty is rewarded and disloyalty is irrelevant. You do not punish betrayal emotionally. You render it ineffective structurally. Your systems protect you. Your distance preserves you. Your discipline sharpens you. Reputation becomes an extension of behavior rather than effort. People speak of you in consistent terms because you are consistent. Calm, controlled, unmoved, capable. You are no longer reactive enough to be provoked. Conflict loses its hook. Drama finds no audience. Those who thrive on chaos drift elsewhere. This is not isolation. It is selectivity. Your circle becomes smaller and stronger. Your energy becomes focused. Your goals become clearer because they are no longer distorted by external noise. You have learned the final lesson. Power is not taken in moments. It is built in habits, in pauses, in what you refuse to explain, in what you refuse to tolerate, in what you choose not to pursue. You no longer need to dominate visibly because your internal order radiates outward. People adjust without instruction. Dynamics shift without confrontation. Influence becomes effortless. This is the state Machiavelli understood but few ever reach. Not cruelty, not chaos, control. You are not hardened. You are refined. You are not cold. You are precise. You are not distant. You are deliberate. Nothing needs to be proven anymore. You have learned to rule the only territory that ever mattered. Your mind. And once that throne is secured, the world has no weapon left that can touch you.